the County of Newell this April 25th, 2024. Nobody needs to, I'll call this meeting to order. I'm Kelly Chrisman, and let's do some introductions. We have some visitors in the audience, so let's start with Lynette. Not looking at me, so I'll pick on you. Good morning, Lynette.
Hi, I'm Lynette Kopp, Division 3, the Patricia Millicent area. Welcome.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dan Short from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Good morning, Adina Scandrip, Division 2, the area around the hamlet of Tilly.
Welcome, I'm Holly Johnson, Division 4, Scandia, Rainier, and Bow City.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, County Administrator.
Good morning, I'm Arno Dirksen from Division 9, the Gem area.
And just to share with you, I'm from Division 6, the west side of the county.
Good morning, Greg Screever, Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and Castles.
Good morning, Ellen Unra, and I represent the area around the village of Rosemary.
Good morning, Amanda Philpott, Division 8, Duchess.
Maria.
Sure. Hi, I'm Maria Jackson, the Planning and Development Supervisor.
Shannalee Simpson, Development Officer.
Cheryl Page, Planning and Development Administrative Assistant.
Catherine Siakla, Communications Officer.
I'm Jeff Tiffin. I manage the Planning, Development, and Engineering departments.
I'm Joanne Dovacek, Tilly, Alberta.
I'm Tammy Gio.
I'm Theron Gio, Tilly, Alberta.
And Sandra Stanway from the Brooks Bulletin. Good morning. Good morning to everyone, and welcome to Council Chambers. I'm going to go to the minutes of our last meeting, April the 11th. How do you wish to handle them, MPC members? Holly.
I'll make a motion to accept those minutes.
Any concerns, questions? All in favor of Holly's motion? That is carried then. Any post-agenda items? Staff? Okay, seeing none, a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Arno moves. All in. Do I hear? Do you want to make an edit? Okay, thank you. All in favor of Arno's motion to adopt the agenda? That is carried. Development permit 6.1, Shannalee.
Thank you. Development permit 2024 and 023 and 024 is for 2 single-family dwellings with a variance to the number of dwellings on a parcel. In the agricultural general district of the land use bylaw, the maximum density is 4 dwelling units. The proposed dwellings will increase the total to 35 residences on the parcel in 7 buildings. The proposed development meets all the setbacks of the district. There was no issues or concerns from staff. There was no response from adjacent landowners, and we're recommending approval with conditions.
Thank you, Shannalee. Are there questions on this application? Comments? Holly.
I was just curious, I see TR 234 runs south of it, I guess it would be. Is that because it was on the road allowance, the actual location, that road runs south of it? Was there a reason?
Maria, go ahead.
As we all know, road allowances are sometimes utilized without county approval. And so in this case, that township road needed to be redirected in order to create access. So that was done between the county and the landowner.
Good question, Holly. I remember when that was rerouted. Any other questions, Lynette?
It says that we're up to 35 dwellings, or whatever the term is. Is this pretty much maximum? Do we have ones that are actually over that amount?
Shannalee?
I can't respond to how many each of our each of the colonies have in the county of Newell. I would say that this is probably close. They're building these buildings on site, but the plan is that they are building them in such a way that they can be moved off when the colony splits.
Direction from MPC. This is pretty typical for a colony. Arno?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'll make a motion to approve the
Two single family.
yeah, the two single family
Mm-hmm.
as per the recommendation of staff.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All in favor of Arno's motion? That is carried. Item 6.2, construction of Shannalee, thank you.
Development permit 2024025 is for the construction of a single-family dwelling with an attached garage to be used as the second dwelling. The existing second dwelling is a 2017 manufactured dwelling, and it will be removed from the parcel upon occupancy of the proposed dwelling. The proposed dwelling will be constructed in a vacant pivot corner. The applicants have submitted an application to construct a new road approach off of Range Road 133. There is no variances requested. There is no issues or concerns from staff. There was no response from adjacent landowners. And Mr. and Mrs. Guillot are here to respond to questions.
Thank you, Shannalee. Would you like, yeah, please come forward. The applicants are here to answer your questions. MPC, do you have any questions? Dan, and then Holly.
It looked like, if I'm understanding that correctly, that it's a house and a garage to be used as a living unit at the same time. So it's one building with two living quarters in it? Or am I confused on that one quite badly?
Shannalee, can you, yeah, thank you.
No, it's a single-family dwelling with an attached garage.
Holly, go ahead.
First, I wondered that too, Dan, the way it was written. I'm like, am I reading this wrong? But so you're just going to you were both on the same parcel at the top, and you're just basically moving to the other end of the quarter is what we're doing to clarify. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I guess and this is for staff, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. What guarantees do we have that the original home is removed? Because that has happened many times in the county, and I see nods around this council table, where applicants come in and they say they're going to remove, and then it's not removed. I knew I had you here for a reason, Maria. Mm-hmm.
Well, staff don't generally go around and ensure that all the conditions are met. So if there is a complaint, then that's when we can go and ensure that the conditions of a development permit are met. The other trigger, I suppose, is if there is additional development that takes place and a permit is required, and we notice that that's still there. Then at that point, we could either have them removed before any further development happens, or they're required then to get a permit. It is always an option that they keep that there, and the development permit then reflects 3 dwellings. If that's the way the landowner wants to go, in this case, they said they would remove it, and so that's how the development permit is reflected.
Thank you. I guess a question for the applicant then, if I can, and then you. Okay, you think? So my question is this development going to trigger the removal of the old home for sure?
Yes, we plan to remove the dwelling that's there.
Okay, thank you. Is that your question, Holly? I feel like we missed the mark there, but.
Well, I'm just curious, is it a easily moved home? Is it a trailer? Is it I never know what that means when they say manufactured home. It could be a variety of things. So is it easily moved, or is it permanent, got a basement, it's there for good? How is it?
No, it's not permanent, it's a mobile home. Yeah, so that was part of our plan originally when moving it out there, was that it was temporary. And so that's why now with this permanent dwelling, that will be removed.
Okay. MPC, direction on this? Dan, please.
Yeah, I'd move that we approve this as recommended by staff.
Any other concerns, comments? I'm going to call the question. All in favor of this motion? Neil was happy to get it off, get the vote in there. I was thinking he had a question. And before you leave, I recognize your sweatshirt and thank you for your support of the Eric Hop Foundation. All right, carrying on with our agenda, other items, other business, no post agenda. Any reason for in camera? Thank you for coming in, folks. Much appreciated. Anything, I asked for question period. I'll adjourn this meeting.
I'm going to suggest we take 5 and then reconvene at 20 after 10 with our council meeting. Everyone, I'll call this meeting to order. The April 25th, 2024 council meeting. We have all of council is here, so no one will be excused. We have minutes from the April 11th meeting been circulated. Any errors or omissions, or if not, a motion to approve those minutes as circulated would be in order. Amanda, please. So moved. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Call for post-agenda items. What do we have post-agenda? I think we have some intergovernmental affair discussion that we'll take in camera. Okay. Amanda?
May 5th to 11th is Palliative Care Week.
Okay, and we need the, is that an agenda item on post-agenda? We'll just, yeah, okay, good, thank you. Any other post-agenda items? We have public hearings at 11 and 11:30 this morning, two separate public hearings, and we also have an appointment, a meeting with Corporal Mancher from Bassano at 11:15, and then another meeting with Silver Sage Ag Society at 1. So those are scheduled agenda items. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as circulated? Holly? All in favor of the motion regarding the agenda? That's carried. Thank you. Question period. Are there any questions or notices of motion? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 10.1. Let's go to 10.1. Mr. Todd Green, welcome.
Good morning. Great to see everybody today, except Dan, of course. Just kidding. I do appreciate the banter back and forth with Dan, and I hope that it doesn't make anybody angry that we do that once in a while. I'm here for some very two very fun RFDs, I think. The first one is our RFD for the legislative appointments for our weed inspectors and our pest inspectors. I think this is your guys' third time that you've had to do this. It's basically a formality. We have 4 wonderful weed inspectors, 2 returning and 2 new. Yeah, so we just need to appoint them under the Weed Control Act and the Agricultural Pests Act so they can do the great work that they were hired to do.
So we look for a motion.
2, please.
2 motions. One, we'll start with 1. 10.1.1, a motion for the appointment of the weed inspectors. Kelly, please.
Yeah, I'll move that the county appoints Josh Fitzgerald, Brady Anderson, Jenna Presley, and Rebecca Andrew as inspectors pursuant to Section 7 of the Weed Control Act.
All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Next, a motion for the appointment of pest inspectors. Holly, please.
I move that the County of Newell appoints Josh Fitzgerald, Brady Anderson, Jenna Presley, and Rebecca Andrew as inspectors pursuant to Section 10 of the Agriculture Pest Act until such a time their employment with the county ceases.
All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Go ahead, Todd.
Thank you very much. I'm very impressed with you ladies. You guys worded that perfectly. I don't know how you did that. It's good timing to have those motions. They start next week, and in fact, Donovan's out spraying some downy brome this morning, so the weeds are coming. 'Tis the season. All right, number 2, the RFD for the Rural Beautification Awards. This was a discussion that we had. I believe it might have even been Councillor Scanderup that brought it up, that we should discuss a little bit more about having conservation efforts within the policy, just because we are in a drought, and maybe put a little more weight on that, because we're requesting that people use less water. We don't want people to be judged based on not using as much water. So we did, when I reviewed the policy, I mean, there was a few small formatting changes, and really when I looked at it, we already had a criteria for conservation efforts, but it was only set at 5 points. So when we're judging, that was really a small part of what we were judging. So when I looked around some of the different places online that have these programs, they all have conservation efforts as well, but run a little bit differently. So what I thought might be better is just to increase the weight of that criteria section. So category 5 being conservation efforts being worth 25 points instead of 5 points. So things like utilization of rain barrels would be a good thing. Xeriscaping, it's called, where you use more rocks and mulch than grass and flowers. So those kinds of things would bear more weight. At the end of the day, the program is really just about thanking people for doing an amazing job in their yards. I know it's kind of a competition because we have to pick 3 winners, but it's really just a thank you. So that was what I changed in there, and I wondered how everybody felt about it.
Thanks, Todd. Is there any discussion or comments with regard to the changes? Neil?
I think you did a pretty good job. It's going to be kind of hard to judge, but at least it's there.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Adina, please.
I just wanted to say thank you, Todd, for listening to some of my suggestions, because the green grass is beautiful, but it does require a lot of water, so I appreciate that.
No, I think it was good timing. It's good discussion. I often joke on the bus on the tour that the people that we have to, when we visit people's yards, they have completely different yards than I would have. Because for me, the best yard is if you can't mow it, don't grow it. So it's just grass, right? There's no flowers, no rocks, and whatever. But anyways, I think you're right. It's good timing. So that's the policy portion, and I appreciate that. We also need to find a counselor judge for the beautification as well. So when we're making the motion.
Have volunteers or nominations? Go ahead, Neil.
Since Adina brought it up, I would nominate her as the judge.
You know, I really appreciate that, but it is so hard to judge those yards. They're all so beautiful. I felt very inadequate. I mean, I could, but I sure would look for somebody else to volunteer first, because it is I mean, you get to spend the day with Todd, which is such a treat anyway, but not just saying that because he's in my division. But I could do it if nobody else wants to, but it really is a treat if somebody else wanted to give it a go.
Okay, we have a nomination, but also an offer if someone else wants to volunteer. Seeing none, I think you've accepted. Thank you. Now we need a motion to, with regard to the policy and also Adina's appointment. Go ahead, Holly.
Well, I was going to nominate Adina. I'm not sure what else. I guess I also have to move that policy POL 02524 be approved.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate. Okay, that is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.
I think applause is very important. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's move to 11.1 administrative business, fire service municipal aid agreement with Wheatland County. Is Stuart coming in for that, or? He's coming out. Is he? Okay.
Maybe while we're waiting for him to come on down, is everybody familiar with what mutual aid agreements are and the fact that we do need to have them in place with all of our
maybe give
joining
us a
municipalities?
backgrounder on that would be useful.
Okay. So it's good practice to have what is referred to as a mutual aid agreement in place with all of your adjacent municipalities. The intention behind these agreements are that they are drawn upon in the event of a fire, a major incident that gets out of control or beyond the control of our local forces to be able to take responsibility for. It just outlines the parameters for services to be provided between municipalities in those events. And they are common. It's good practice to have them in place. We're just wanting to make sure that we've got a current agreement in place with Wheatland County. We do have mutual aid agreements in place with Cypress, Vulcan, Tabor, special areas. This is just another one.
Thank you, Lane. Welcome, Stuart. Yeah, Lane gave us a bit of background. If you want to take us through the
Yeah, so this mutual aid agreement was given to me just at the beginning of the year. Of course, with my busyness, we finally got everything finished, looked it over. I like it. I agree with it. I think it creates a great partnership between the two counties. So my recommendation would be to accept this proposal.
Okay, thank you, Stuart. Are there any questions, comments? Holly, go ahead, and then Lynette, please.
Yeah, I believe in the RFD there was a comment that the benefit far outweighs the potential financial implications. Can you explain what that means?
Well, there's always, when we remove sources from the county of Newell, there's definitely a financial implication, right? The cost of turning that equipment on, driving it there, the personnel that have to go, their time away, things like that are the costs that we would incur. And of course, through the agreement, it says that we would not bill them back for our time, for our equipment, and things like that. And in turn, they would reciprocate the same thing back to us. So even though it costs us a little bit of money, it creates that partnership as well as gives personnel and availability going both ways.
Thank you, Stuart. Another follow-up, Holly?
So I didn't read through the old agreement from 2004, 2002, but did that one have different financial implications? Like, is this a change of policy, or this is just kind of a more in-depth with each area?
Yeah, it's not, the actual agreement really didn't change from one to the other when I reviewed them. And of course, we sent it off to make sure that everything was good because it is an older style agreement. But it's the same agreement that I'm actually currently working towards with the other counties and back to Wheatland County. It's identical. So it's just, I thought I would point out that there is some financial cost to us, but the partnership that it builds between the two counties, in my opinion, well outweighs what it might cost us to do that. And to Wheatland County, we have never or rarely gone there that I know of. So maybe into Sisika a little bit through Bazzano.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. Lynette, and then Amanda, please.
In Schedule B, our list of apparatus is very detailed. Wheatland County's list of apparatus is not very detailed, but like I don't know, in the grand scheme of things, does that matter? Do we know what they actually have by those very short descriptions?
Yeah, with their short descriptions, we don't. When I sent back out to ask for descriptions for their equipment for the agreement that we're providing to them, I haven't seen that yet, and I'm hoping I will, because to me, I think there's an advantage to myself as an IC when I know what equipment is coming from what area, right, and what they're capable of. Not just a fire engine, but how many liters per minute does it flow? Does it have foam? Does it have the capability with spray bars to do wildland fire and stuff like that? So a little detail would be nice to have. They don't have it on theirs, but hopefully when we make ours to them, that detail might be there then. So.
Okay. Amanda, please, and then Kelly.
Stuart, have we ever used this agreement? Have ever had to use it with other counties?
Yeah, we've gone into Cypress County. We've been in special areas. Wheatland County, I'm not too sure of. Vulcan County, a couple of years ago when they had that big fire, we were on a hold just in case, because the fire was getting closer to the river. So we might have had gone into Vulcan County and do it. So there have been occasions where we have just gone and done that and helped them out. And what it does is we don't have to set up a council meeting, special council meeting to go and do something like that. So.
Okay, thank you. Kelly?
Stuart, who makes a call on this? Do they request assistance? And who does the call go to? I don't think that's defined clearly in the agreement.
Yeah, it's not 100%. The practice that's been through the years is when when Wheatland County would request assistance, it would be to their 911 dispatch center, to ours, and they would ask what resources you would like. They would call those individual departments. It wouldn't be a call to me, it would be to those individual departments. Having said that, I listen to every radio call that comes in, and if I knew we were busy or something, I could definitely step in to say, unfortunately, I don't think we can at this point.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. Matt, you had a...
Well, maybe just for Stuart to unpack how the county benefits having these in place. And my mind goes to the Patricia fire we had a few years ago. The agreements work both ways. If you wanted to speak to that a little bit, Stuart?
Yeah, for sure. So that Patricia fire started off with a lot of our county resources, but we ended up very quickly having special areas and Cypress County, as well as the Army base, come in and assist us with that 5,000 acres that we had on fire there. So that's where it benefited us coming back. So that.
Okay, thank you. Follow-up, Kelly?
Yeah, just, so I would like to see, if we're going to send a detailed list of what we have in stock, we need to have theirs. Otherwise, it's inadequate, or I think it's missing information. And then the other part is a motion to approve once we get that information to it. Oh, Matt has a negative to that.
Okay, Matt, go ahead.
Not necessarily negative. I think the comment from Councillor Kopp regarding the detail from Wheatland referred to like the model year and things like that. We do have a list in Schedule B of the apparatus from Wheatland. It just does not define it's a 3,000 gallon or what year. The agreement also speaks to, I think it's item 4.3, that these schedules are live documents and they will be updated by each party as they go. So Stuart can actually leave the meeting today, ask for that additional information. It'll come in. This will be updated as we go along. And as apparatus is disposed or purchased, these are intended to be updated as we move forward.
Perfect. So my motion stands to approve.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve the agreement as requested. Was there another question over here? Adina, you didn't? Okay. All in favor of the motion? All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Stuart.
Maybe just one additional comment. So this is the first one. Stuart indicated that we are going to be updating the other agreements that we have with our other partners. So we will be coming back, same discussion for each of those additional agreements.
Okay, thank you. That's good information. Kelly, go ahead.
So on that topic, we do not have a mutual agreement with the reservation. Is that in the works? Is that on the to-do list? We have helped over there, unmutually agreed.
Back in 2000, when Chief Littlechild and I had a conversation together, and he's the fire chief for that area, he said, absolutely, we should get an agreement together. Vulcan and Sisika have one, and it's the exact same agreement that everybody else uses. So I have reached out through email to each one of the fire chiefs within the counties, and hopefully we will see that reciprocated back with with the nation, it takes a little more prodding to get things going, but definitely that is on my hit list to get done, especially with Bizano bordering that community.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sirs. Let's move on to item number 11.2, our annual report. Catherine, are you taking us through that?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add other than that the 2023 County of Newell Annual Report is done and ready for your review.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Anyone have anything? And if not, a motion to approve the annual report has circulated. Neil? Okay, thank you. We have a motion to approve. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Catherine. Recreation Agreement Update 11.3 with the City of Brooks. Matt, you're going to take us through that.
All right, so I don't think any of these details will be new to council. We've looked at them a number of times. We've been through and with the counterparts over at the city have updated the amended Schedule A, which was always intended to be updated during the term of the agreement. You can see what is included there. What is not included, skateboard park and old rodeo grounds redevelopment. You can look forward to your ICF IDP committee having those conversations with the City of Brooks as this recreation agreement ends December 31st, 2024. So what you're looking at here for 2023 is for 2023 and 2024. Yeah, with that, I'm open to questions.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Are there any questions? Kelly, go ahead.
So on this Schedule A, they're asking for facility replacement. And that's a new budget line, it looks like. Building components replacement. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I read that wrong. I was thinking it was building replacement, but it's components. But it is a new budget line. Do you know what that's for?
Not a new budget line. This mirrors the structure of the original agreement. You'll see updated numbers and some updated details. So the first page you're looking at there is a summary. If you follow the pages down, you'll see the actual individual items that the county is agreeing to under this agreement to fund up to that maximum amount. So if the case is in 2023, for instance, if you look at one of the line items being the JBS Fitness Center lower flex hall roof, your 20% share is up to the max of what they've budgeted there. So if they happen to spend $400 on that, the excess is on them unless they want to come and have a separate conversation and say, oh, our budget was poor, inflation went through the roof. The agreement constrains the spending.
Thanks, Matt. Any other questions or comments? Holly, go ahead, please.
Just kind of a comment about the process. So this, the whole ICF is being reviewed, but this is just the recreation portion we're talking about now. But everything's under review, and when do you expect that to be completed in a draft form?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, so to be clear, ICFs need to be updated by 2027. Under our ICF with the City of Brooks, there's a number of individual agreements which are referenced in the ICF, whether it's the recreation agreement, our fire agreement, so on and so forth. What the ICF IDP committee will be looking at updating is just the recreation agreement. So we've got something in place for 2025 and beyond. The number of years to be included in that will be up to the committee to negotiate, and then that recommendation will come from ICF committee back to council for review and approval.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Lynette, please.
I was trying to quote it, but now I can't find it, where it's addressing usage statistics. Have we gotten any further on usage statistics?
No.
Okay, thank you. Kelly, go ahead.
And the thing that I always go back to in these agreements is it feels like we have no facilities in the county of Newell. And so, and I brought this up last time we talked about it with the city. Where is the acknowledgement that we are providing recreation facilities already? Is it reflected here? So that's something for you to think about. And I don't know how we, if you feel like it's recognized here in the numbers, just a question. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a valid question. And it's one that each committee, whether it's Brooks, Bassano, Duchess, Rosemary, you need to keep that question in the back of your mind. Because in the current agreement, there is no reflection of urban use of rural facilities.
Okay, thank you. Greg, please.
And yeah, that's a very good point. I do agree, especially with the building of the Kimbrough Connection Pathway. I find that is a recreation facility, and that needs to be reflected in these agreements. So I think in 2024, for the 2024 agreement, that will be brought up with them.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments, or someone ready to make a motion with regard to approval of Schedule A? Greg, please.
Yeah, I'll make that motion for option 1.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 11.4, the request for a letter of support for the Belly River Reservoir proposal through the United Irrigation District. Matt, you've got some background.
Yeah, letter you've seen in your agenda package there. Really don't have much more to add to that. We know what a benefit irrigation is in our area. Drought seems to be the conversation of the day in the province, and any area that's looking to increase storage capacity, I think, is good for the region of southern Alberta, and it's here for council consideration for support.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Lynette, go ahead.
Does any of that actually affect our amount of water at all?
No. Different basin. Neil?
It might not affect our water, but there's a limited amount of funding. I don't mind. I totally support irrigation. You all know that. But it should only be the most cost-effective projects, and there's quite a few of them in the queue, and we don't know anything about this project. It could be, I mean, it could be just a dog's breakfast as far as cost goes. So kind of limited support as long as it's in, I'm not sure how I could word that, but Matt's nodding, he's got it.
Okay, any other comments or direction? The request is for a letter of support, so it's up to us whether we or not. Yeah.
If you write a letter, it can't say that global warming is approaching, because there is no global warming. It would be climate change, but we're actually cooling. So that kind of language doesn't quite work.
Okay, Neil?
I think you should write the letter totally supporting irrigation, And then bring up the fact that it has to get in the queue and it has to be a cost-effective irrigation, cheapest, best use of the province's money. Because I don't know anything about this project.
Okay, I think we can probably do that. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Neil on this one. The first line of Warner's letter of support is, we're writing this letter in support of the Belly River Reservoir proposal as outlined in the presentation. But I haven't seen a presentation, so I'm not going to jump behind support of something I haven't seen. But if they want to further themselves with better irrigation, I'd support that. I'd like to see the proposal before I give them proper support.
Okay, thank you. So you're suggesting we not send a letter till we've had a presentation?
Well, yeah, I'd rather not write a letter in support of something that I have no idea what I'm supporting. I'd look like a clown potentially, or a hero, but I don't really know, because all I know is a reservoir. That's not enough for me to throw support behind it.
Yep, fair enough. Okay, is there more that we can do? Can we get a better synopsis of what that project is about? Or do we, unless we have a general letter of support for projects? But go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I'm willing to take direction from council on this. If you'd like the Belly River presentation, we could get that presentation in. If you'd like just the general letter of, yeah, we love irrigation so long as you're choosing cost-effective projects, that's a pretty brief letter to write. Whatever council would like to move.
Yeah, someone want to give us direction or propose a motion? Holly, please.
I think if we write a letter, what Neil had said, it doesn't help them out much. I think if we're going to go this direction, we should ask for more information before we write a letter. So my motion is to get more information before we write a letter of support.
Okay, thank you. I accept that motion that we ask for some more information before we commit our support to it. Neil?
Yeah, that works, because then we'll have the information I was talking about before we make the decision.
Yeah, we can get that.
And it won't insinuate that we're not behind their project.
Get it within 2 weeks, I'm sure. Yeah, for our next meeting. So all in favor of that motion, please indicate. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Item number 11.5, Citizen and Junior Citizen of the Year, request for a gift basket. Ariana, that has been presented to us. What is our response? You don't have more information than what is in our document, Holly?
So FCSS, this is a standard, we give a basket, they do door prizes at the Junior and Citizen of the Year banquet. It's happened frequently. I'd like to make the recommendation that we donate a gift basket.
Okay, thank you. Kelly, go ahead.
I'm all good with that. I think it's a great cause. I just have a question. Do other municipalities do similar activities?
Yes, all the other, so the City of Brooks, Dutchess, and Rosemary all contribute a basket as well.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the motion as presented? Oh, you've got a question? Go ahead.
I was just going to make the motion. Was yours a motion? Okay.
Yeah, we have a motion. Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Item number 11.6, Councillor Payment Sheets. We need a motion of acceptance, or if there are questions or comments. Ellen, please.
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Motion to accept Councillor Payment Sheets as presented. All in favor of that, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Requests for functions of council. Does anyone have any additional functions of council that need to be added? Kelly, go ahead.
I have registered for the, let me find it. It is the last Palliser Health Triangle meeting. June? I thought it was May, Amanda. Wrap up, yeah, it is, thank you. June the 4th. So I was, for the first 8 years of Palliser Triangle, I was a board member there. And so I did sign up for the virtual closing up, wrap-up meeting. I'm wondering if council sees that as a valid
Function of council.
function of council. Thank you.
Lynette, please.
I'll make a motion for Kelly to attend that as a function of council.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. It's carried. Thank you. Are there any others? Greg, please, and then Amanda.
Yeah, there's the SEWA meeting tomorrow that a couple of us councillors are planning on attending. Just want to make that a request for council.
Function of council for whoever chooses to go. Is that what you're saying? Okay, thank you. Holly?
I would make that motion.
Yeah, that's, we have a motion on, thank you. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Kelly, go ahead.
Can I ask who's going and maybe we can carpool to the meeting tomorrow? We can do that at lunch maybe?
Sure, we can discuss that. Sounds
Thanks.
good. Okay. Any other functions of council? Yes, Amanda, please.
I just want to put it out there for Seeds of Change, May 7th and 8th. Seeds of Change.
Right, that's the immigration conference. I have been asked to, the county's been asked to bring opening greetings there, and I've agreed to do that. If I can't make it for some reason, I'll look for someone else to do it, but I'm planning to be there for the start at least. Neil?
Yeah, for this area, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
That we show support for them.
Are you wanting that to be a function of council?
Oh, for sure. I'll make the motion that it's a function of council for anybody that wants to go on the council.
Okay, any further discussion?
I was just going to mention our ag days, same days, right? The county's doing it the exact same days, am I correct?
Okay, we've got a motion to include the Seeds of Change conference as a function of council. All in favor of that, please indicate. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Is there a need for something at the ag field today? No, that takes care of itself, eh? Okay, anything else? Seeing none other, we'll carry on.
Request for volunteers.
Right, we've got a request for volunteers for the Brooks and Community Agency's Community Resource Fair. Holly, go ahead.
I was just going to give more information. It's called the Little Learners Fair. It's being sponsored by FCSS, and it's geared towards younger children, those who are kind of preschool age or very early school age, trying to get resources out there. So the AGM of FCSS is at the exact same time, so Amanda and I cannot be volunteers.
Okay, what do we need to identify some volunteers, or can we just, is anyone prepared to volunteer to do that, to go there? Ellen, please.
I'm not able to. I'm having an NRSC meeting that afternoon.
Okay. Lynette, please.
I would volunteer to go and
Okay,
help.
good. Kelly and then Adina.
I also have time on May 29th.
Okay, and Adina, you do too? Okay, good, that'll be good, appreciate that.
Not usually.
Okay, with it being, go ahead, Lynette.
Were we making that a function of council?
No. It falls in that category of pancake flipping.
Yeah, just putting it on my list or not.
Okay,
Community service.
being 11 o'clock, I think we're going to move to a public hearing. Pardon me? Okay. we should call our public hearing. We should have done that 5 minutes ago, I think. So let's, I mean, anyone can come and go, but I think being that this is scheduled for 11 o'clock, we should hold to it. But we need a motion to move to a public hearing. Dan, all in favor of the motion, please indicate. Okay, that is carried. Okay, this is a public hearing to consider bylaw 207324, the electoral division boundaries. We'll open the public hearing, and I'll just give some opening remarks to let everyone know what the situation is. Good morning, everyone, and I'll call this public hearing to order, and we'll provide a brief outline for the formal hearing process. The purpose for a public hearing is to ensure that there's an orderly process for council to receive input from everyone who wishes to be heard. After my comments, the time will be turned over to administrative staff for an overview of the matter being considered this morning, and that being the electoral division boundaries. The applicant will then be, the public will be given an opportunity to address and be questioned by council. Others who wish to address council will also be given opportunity to provide comments, hearing first from those speaking in support, then in opposition to the application. Council may question presenters if they feel a need for clarification. And we ask that comments be brief and limited to 5 minutes for the applicant and 3 minutes for others who wish to address council. In this case, there won't be an applicant, but public who may wish to respond to the electoral division boundaries. Any individual wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chair, and once recognized, please state your name. All statements should be directed to council. After council has heard from those who wish to submit comments, the applicant will be given, will summarize the issues that have been raised, and then the hearing will be adjourned, and council will consider input provided that the matter is next dealt with by the council at a meeting where we will next deal with it. So that being today potentially. So Matt, if you want to give us an overview of the matter at hand, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be a surprise. We've been working on the electoral division boundary bylaw update for what seems like a long time now. This process actually to hold a public hearing for the electoral division bylaw is not required by the MGA, but it was recommended by administration from our last failed attempt at getting a bylaw passed. One of the lessons learned was more public engagement is better than less. And so we're holding the public hearing to hear comments from the community. The map in front of council has received first reading. We'd be looking for second reading today, depending on the outcome of the public hearing. We've made some significant improvements on the population redistribution. You can see it there on Schedule A. Definitely not perfect. A number of competing interests in balancing numbers with keeping communities together. And I think that's what you'll hear from the public today. So with that, I'll turn it back to the chair.
Thank you, Matt. And I will offer the public any opportunities to present or make comments with regard to the electoral boundaries division, realizing that we're considering second reading today. Anyone? Go ahead. Come. Do you want to come and take the mic here, please? Yeah. Welcome. Just you might have to just press the. There, we got you on. Yeah. Oh, one more time. Lights on. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All new to me. I'm Joanne Dovacek from Tilly, and I have been sort of watching what you've been doing in the paper and whatnot all. but it really came to my attention at our Hamlet meeting a couple of weeks ago when Adina informed us that the boundary in Tilly was changed to Highway 535. And it cuts straight through our community, and I think it's divisive in my community. We're Tilly, we're not Rolling Hills. So I'm just asking council to reconsider the boundary and leave it where it is. I don't understand the numbers that you think are so important to be in each division. Maybe you might explain that to me a little bit better, why that's so important. But other than that, yeah, I'm just asking for a pause, and maybe you could reconsider that boundary.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll offer if councillors have questions or if we have any further explanation with regard to the specifics. I think the population distribution is a guideline. It isn't, there aren't hard and fixed numbers with regard to that, but I think council has felt that they wanted to get closer to more equitable numbers if they could, and I think this division represents that. But
So
go ahead.
for what reason? Like, why do we all have to have 800 people in our division?
That's a good question. I'm going to open it to other councillors to speak to you. Neil, if you want to.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of that, but the exact reason, Mr. Screever's division and mine both had 11, 12, 1,300 people in them, which means that a vote from a smaller, somebody that has 500 people in it, their vote actually counts 3 times. And you can't have that kind of disproportionate, like me and the rest of us too, we strive for fair, and you can't have that kind of unfairness in a county.
What are we voting on?
We vote on everything at every council meeting. Every motion that goes through is proportionally represented now. Before it was not.
Okay, Adina, you've got a comment, please?
I just have just a comment. I can see where it might be somewhat confusing when you talk about making things more equal or proportionate when you have Division 1 proposed to have 726 and you have Division 4 with 1,029. That's still not very close.
Thank you. Ellen?
If that border was to be relocated, so it would include Tilly would have the original, would that make a big difference in population? If it was the original line like it used to be?
Sorry, I missed part of that question, Ellen.
I'm just wondering if the boundary line would be brought back to where it is currently, would that make a big difference in population?
I can't answer that. I'm not sure if we have. You know, we've been through all this. I think we're just looking to get input from the public, basically, and I think we've already looked at all of those variables as council in the past. So I don't have an answer offhand for you for that. Kelly, do you have another comment?
I have a question for Mrs. Dovachuk. So our public engagement and our conversations have all been around invisible lines, basically. When we take an oath of office, you understand that you don't have just one person as a ratepayer to contact, that right now there are 10 of us who represent every area of the county. We just happen to be voted in. I'm just wondering if you understand that piece of it, because a line means virtually nothing, because it takes the majority vote to get anything approved at this council. I'm just wondering if you understand that piece.
I do understand that.
Okay, thank you. You have any other
I don't.
comments?
I'm
Okay.
just asking that you maybe reflect on my request and reconsider that border. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation this morning. Is there anyone else who would like to make a public? Is there anyone online, Catherine? Seeing none, a motion that we move out of our public hearing would be in order. Neil, all in favor of moving out of the public hearing? That is carried. Thank you. Yeah, let's, seeing that Corporal Mancher is here this morning, welcome, and we'll move to, we're a few minutes ahead of the scheduled time, but we're good with that if you are. So come on up to the table and welcome, and thank you for coming in this morning. We've had a couple of exchanges back and forth over the last few days, and appreciate you coming this morning. Yeah, it didn't cost me anything, no.
No, I appreciate the
Corporal, do you mind just hitting the button in front of you there, the big flat one? There we are. If you got lights, you got power, so thanks.
Perfect. This is Corporal Haranek from Okotoks. I will be taking a period of parental leave here shortly, and Corporal Haranek will be the interim acting commander for Bassano during my absence.
Welcome, and good to meet you, and we'll have an opportunity to come shake hands after we've talked for a bit here, and welcome to the area, and we look forward to your service and activity among us. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for welcoming me here.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for coming in together today.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's, should we maybe have introductions? I'm remiss maybe not to do that to begin with. Why don't we start over here, and Neil, please.
Welcome, I'm Neil Johnson, Division 10, Round Brooks Councillor.
Good morning, Amanda Philpott, Division 8, Duchess.
Good morning, I'm Ellen Unra, and I represent the area around the village of Rosemary.
Welcome. It's my name's Greg Screever, Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and Castles.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Chrisman, and I'm from the west side of the county.
Morning, Arno Dirksen. I'm from Division 9, the Gem area.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, Chief Administrative Officer.
Hi, Holly Johnson, Division 4, Scandia, Rainier, and Bow City.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dan Short from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Hi, I'm Lynette Kopp, Division 3, Patricia Millicent area.
Catherine Siaklik, Communications Officer.
Ariana Nielsen, Executive Assistant. Good morning, I'm Sandra Stanway, Brooks Bulletin.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Go ahead. Good to.
Okay. Right now, we're putting, well, maybe I should start with, as I'm sure everybody around or on council is aware, Bassano and Brooks detachments are temporarily amalgamated. The amalgamation is expected to come to an end in and around January 2025. We did amalgamate due to resource shortages that Bassano has been encountering ever since August. With that in mind, right now I am putting together the annual performance plan for Bassano detachment, and I wanted to essentially canvass council to see whether or not the current or the last year's priorities should remain consistent for this year, or if there's other priorities that council may have that we should be incorporating into our planning for the upcoming year.
Thank you for coming with regard to that and for your ongoing dialogue with regard to this on our behalf. Is there anyone who has suggestions? I guess I live not far in the Gem area, so I appreciate the work that you do, and thankfully don't have any appreciate the fact that you come out there and also the engagement with the community when there's opportunity for that, realizing that with resources a little short, that doesn't happen as often as it might, but we appreciate what you're doing. But I'll open it to council. Is there anyone else who sees any other priorities or added initiatives that you'd like to see addressed? Holly, go ahead, please.
I'm just curious if you felt last year's priorities addressed, you saw progress in those areas and you felt they were the right areas.
I did, and I do. The areas that we focused on last year have been fairly consistent areas throughout the last number of annual performance plans, and they are essentially community engagement and visibility. Then we have traffic enforcement with a focus on impaired and dangerous driving behaviors, and then a focus on rural crime. The additional focus that I have internally is on ensuring that the membership in Bassano has a good work-life balance, but also is provided with the requisite training so that they can enforce different statutes such as traffic enforcement, drug interdiction, and property crime. From what I've seen in and around Bassano detachment area, I do think that those are appropriate focuses moving forward. However, that's just my opinion, and I certainly want to incorporate the County of Newell into that conversation so that we can make sure that it's reflective of what you guys need to see from Bassano RCMP.
Oh, thank you. Holly, follow up?
I'm just curious I mean, you have a lot of traffic coming off the number one, and it's obviously your community's right there.
Right.
Are you seeing any increase or decrease in traffic issues with regards to Highway 1 in terms of speed or impairs, that kind of issues?
We do have, one of our primary focuses is on impaired driving. So we do partner with the Redcliffe Traffic Unit because they cover Bassano's detachment area as well to address speed, distracted driving, dangerous driving, as well as impaireds. As far as seeing an increase in that, a lot of those things are directly commensurate to the enforcement action that's taken. So the more check stops that we're able to do, the more traffic enforcement that we're able to do, the more impaired operators we're going to detect and address. Conversely, if we don't have the membership available to be doing those enforcement activities, then the impaired drivers aren't being detected and such. I'm sorry, just one. We haven't had, this past year, and I think it largely speaks to the weather that we encountered, we didn't have the same incident of collisions that we did the previous year. But again, that's mostly weather and road condition related. We haven't had that many impaired related collisions over the last couple of years.
Good news too. Thank you. Kelly, you had a comment?
Yeah, a question on your frequent school presence. What does that mean? What does that look like to you?
Yeah, it's kind of broken down into a number of different categories. I want my members out just doing unstructured school visits, walkthroughs, talking to the faculty and administrators there, interacting with the students, just walking through the playground essentially. I also want them doing school zone patrols so that the public, when they're dropping off kids, or even the student drivers, see police cars readily in that area, and that'll help reduce the incident of possible pedestrian strikes, as well as dangerous driving that we may have otherwise from youth. As far as presentations go, what I'm asking of my membership is that they complete 2 school presentations per member per year. Now that can be on a variety of different subjects, depending on what the school identifies as most appropriate for them. That's a minimum, because of course it's also balanced with their other operational duties. But if time and resources permit, we are of course open to presenting more often than that to the schools. But we do have 9 Hutterite schools, as well as a school in Rosemary and a school in Bassano that we're responsible to cover.
And might I add GEM?
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, GEM as well.
That's admirable. And with 2 or 3 members, that gets pretty watered down, doesn't it? Because 2 visits, throughout 12 schools, that gets pretty.
Per member.
Per member.
school.
Yeah. Oh, per member per school.
Yeah, so
That's
the way I had it divided,
Okay.
when we were fully staffed, is I had a member, I separated our entire area into 3 segments, and I assigned 1 member per segment. So they'd be responsible for the schools within that segment, as well as the town and or village offices. We have, however, been extremely short-staffed in Bassano. Light is at the end of that tunnel. We have 2 recruits, 2 brand-new members being trained right now. So by October, they should be fully available members. The detachment has also been reclassified, which gave us an additional member position. And so in and around December, this coming up December, I should have 4 constables as well as the commander position filled at that point.
Thanks for that clarity. That helps.
For sure.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
So being that you're going to have 4 staff members, would you add anything to this list here that you've provided?
No, the list that I've provided would be appropriate for us when we're fully staffed. Right now, being hubbed with Brooks Detachment, we won't be able to necessarily do all of the school presentations that I would otherwise be expecting from my members. That's something that we are right now needing to adjust because of our resources that we currently have. So this would be more planning for when Bassano is fully a standalone independent detachment once again.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments, or anything else you want to add?
Well, I think one of the things that I identified as important for the county is that there would be that you would identify certain key events for the county that Bassano RCMP, that our attendance would be desirable at. So that would be one thing that we could incorporate into the annual performance plan that wasn't part of last year's annual performance plan, if you felt that it needed to be specifically addressed and identified.
And you're thinking of specific events that might be happening in communities in the area, right? So, yeah.
Using Bassano as an example, I know they've got their barbecue festival.
Sure. Yeah.
And that would be one. Or Rosemary has Canada Day, and that might be another. So if there's anything that the county would like to see membership specifically at, that might be important for us to incorporate those specifics into the plan.
Sure, and I think that can be a dynamic discussion, right?
It absolutely can.
As things come up and there are opportunities to have you come out where that's suits your schedule too, we can look for that. And we appreciate that very much too, because there are, from time to time, there will be opportunities like that maybe just come up, and certainly we will be mindful of getting in touch, hopefully ahead of time, to provide those opportunities, and look forward to your engagement in our communities. And I can say that that's definitely appreciated, like out in GEM, particularly even at some public meetings occasionally, just, that's happened in the past, and it's noted and appreciated. So I want you to know that as well, too.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Kelly?
I just thought of a question. What's your experience and your relationship with our colonies? Because we have many on the west side.
We do, and what we're doing right now to strengthen those relationships is we're going through each colony and ensuring that they have a SAFE plan. It's the School Action for Emergency Plans. But that allows a lot more engagement with the colony leaders as well during the development of that plan. We're also actively going to the colonies along the same lines as those unstructured visits to other schools to develop that relationship where if there are things occurring on the colony that should be reported to police. My hope is that by us frequenting the colony, it will open those lines of communication. We have been incorporating that over the last couple of years for sure, but we are doing we're focusing on it more this year than we have the last couple.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you coming in this morning. I'm going to suggest we'll take 5 minutes. We've got a public hearing coming up at 11:30, so that'll give us a chance to break and meet you too, Corporal Chris Horenek. I would appreciate you saying that one more time. It's a better opportunity of maybe pronouncing that the right way and getting your name right. So Chris Horenek, Corporal Chris Horenek, welcome, and thank you, Corporal Mancher, for coming in this morning. We
No, it was
appreciate
our
it very
pleasure.
much.
We appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. Okay, let's take 5 minutes and we'll reconvene in time for our public hearing. And I would entertain a motion that we move to a public hearing. Neil, all in favor that we move to a public hearing, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. So we are considering bylaw 2066-24 as a land use bylaw amendment. And I will call this public meeting to order and invite Shanna Lee to give us a summary of what we're considering today.
Thank you. The purpose of amending this bylaw is to include policy that will create efficiencies in the development permit process. Just to reiterate what we were wanting to do, development not requiring a development permit, we've added a shipping container, one shipping container in rural residential. We have added safety signs as not requiring a permit. We have changed the minimum size of a dwelling for a live-work unit to 37 square meters. Secondary suites would be subordinate to the primary use of the building. Agricultural general, we've added school colony as a permitted use. Single lot ag, we've added intensive and agricultural processing from a permitted use to a discretionary use. We've removed the maximum building height and added a live-work unit. We've also added a live-work unit in hamlet transitional. We have in residential manufactured home, we've moved an addition from a discretionary use to a permitted use. In residential hamlet, we've added a mixed use building as a discretionary use. Business hamlet, we've added a live-work unit and a mixed-use building as discretionary uses. Business rural, adding an addition and a live-work unit as a permitted use. We've added an addition to industrial general as well as special parks and public services. In the glossary, we have changed the definition of campground to include accessory buildings, cooking shelters, washroom facilities. We have added a new definition of school colony. We sent notices to we received notices back from Alberta Transportation, TELUS, Bazzano, MD of Taber, Cypress County, and Weakland County, and there were no issues or concerns from any of them.
Thank you, Shanna Lee. I appreciate that, and there may be some questions or comments, but I do highlight also your executive summary, the fact that you have reviewed ongoing activities and looked for efficiencies, and here they are today. Thank you for bringing that forward. Are there any questions or comments from council?
It's actually a public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a public hearing. My apology. But is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment? Is there anyone, Catherine? So I didn't. Okay, we're okay. Any other public comments at all? Jeff? No? Okay. Okay. Seeing none, I will accept a motion to close our public hearing. Lynette, all in favor that the public hearing be closed? That's carried. Thank you. And I will ditto on the comments that I just made. Appreciate the work that you do to find efficiencies and bring them to the public's attention so that we can provide service in a more seamless fashion where that's possible. So thank you. Appreciate it. Let's move on to item number 8.1, bylaw for the electoral boundaries divisions, and we are looking to consider second reading if that is the wish of council. Anyone prepared to make a motion? Neil?
Yeah, I appreciate Mrs. Dovachuk's comments, but I think we should move ahead with this. So I will make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? All in favor, please indicate. Opposed? Okay, that is carried. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 8.2. That is bylaw 2066-24 is the land use bylaw text amendments, and we are looking here for a first, second, and then third reading, if that is the wish of council. Adina, please.
I move we give that second reading.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Similar action to third reading. Would Holly, please?
I'll move third reading.
All in favor of third reading, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 8.3, bylaw 2054-23, road closure and lease for various locations. Go ahead, Maria, please.
Thank you. Just a quick summary of this road closure is the application is to close a road allowance along, okay, so this road closure is for the reason that the application installed a wiper pivot between two quarters close to Bizano. So the lands are in Division 6, southeast of the town of Bizano. And then there was also a few other road allowances that were being irrigated, and those are historical irrigation projects that we are cleaning up at the same time. It is recommended by administration that second and third reading be given to bylaw 2054-23.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Are there any questions? Lynette, please.
Just to clarify, on Schedule A, there's the 3 pictures. So the bottom one is the one that the windshield wiper was already put on? Is that right?
Maria, go ahead, please.
So this isn't Schedule A, but this shows all of the locations. So the windshield wiper was put right here, and then these are existing ones. So the new irrigation is between the northeast of 32 and the northwest of 33.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Or a motion that we proceed with second reading? Lynette, please.
I'll make the motion to proceed with second reading.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. And similarly, third reading for motion for bylaw 2054-33. Dan, please. Motion to approve third reading. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you. Let's, we're good till noon now, aren't we? Yeah, okay. Let's move on to item number 8.4, bylaw 2059-23 is the road closure and lease. Go ahead, please, Maria.
Thank you. This application is to close and lease portions of road allowance that are located in Division 6, approximately 4 kilometers northeast of Bizano. The purpose of the road closure is to restrict public access and to allow for the continued irrigation of the road allowance. This bylaw received approval to proceed on May 25th, the public hearing and first reading on July 20th, and it received Alberta Transportation approval on March 28th. So it is recommended that second and third reading be given to this road closure bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Adina, please.
I will make a motion for second reading.
Second reading, okay. All in favor, please. Oh, just a question first. Holly, go ahead.
Sorry, I know we approved these, but it's been so long. So am I right that there's the very south is where that house is, and they're happy with just having it closed for less access? Was it going to be actually closed off, like with more than a sign? How are they going to limit access?
The road will be closed not right to Township Road 214. So there will be a little section that it remains open. And then the county does give signs, and those signs can be placed then right where the road closure is. So this portion of road remained open because of an administrative decision, I guess, here. This landowner would have been okay with it being closed right to the township road. However, if lands changed hands or something happens in the future, then we now still have the ability to give access off of this range road to that parcel. So there will be a sign that will be installed right here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? We have a motion for second reading. All in favor, please indicate. It's carried. Thank you. We have a motion for third reading of 2059-23. Kelly, please.
I will move third reading.
Thank you.
Third mo-
All in favor of approving third reading? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 8.5.1, which is bylaw 207224, our tax rate. And we need, thank you, Shanalee and Maria. We need, we're looking for second and third reading here. Matt, do you?
Yeah, just a brief update. It's been radio silent since first reading, which is good news. I mean, the pitchforks haven't come out, and I think that is probably reflective of what I would consider to be a conservative overall tax increase for the year. So yeah, just looking for second and third readings so we can send those property tax notices out.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Questions or comments, or someone ready to make a motion? Holly, please.
I'll make a motion for second reading.
Second reading, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried, thank you. Similarly, a motion for third reading. Amanda, please.
I'll make that motion for third reading.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried, thank you. Let's go to 11.7.2, documentary film premiere, Bridging the Gap for May the 8th, 2024. It's an invitation. Matt, you've got...
Yeah, so we've included this under consideration for functions of council. We received the invite from our friends over at Grasslands. There is a registration process to go through, and I think anybody who would like to register, if you got your information to Ariana, she could do that for the group. Yeah, so out of courtesy to Grasslands, so they know how many bodies to expect, we should make a determination who, if any, would like to attend.
Okay, who do we have? This is May the 8th at 5:30 in the afternoon.
I'll bring licorice.
Someone else brings pop, yeah. Okay, who would like to attend that? Neil, let's just show of hands who's might try to attend, and then we'll know. That is it.
Kelly?
You got it, Ariana? Thank you. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's covered, right?
Yep.
That's at Griffin Park School. Move on to committee reports. Has this been around? I don't know if that's circulated. Just what is there some mark we can start and then no, you can take. I'll just look at Brooks Tourism. Adina, you want to give us a committee report on Brooks Tourism? Yeah.
All right. So just really quickly, we received a SCOP grant for $36,000, and then we are required to put $4,000 in to make it $40,000, and it needs to be used for agritourism development. So Jamie is looking to put that towards our open farm days. She's got putting that to work right now. Also, there was a meeting, I understand here, a couple of weeks ago between the city, the county, basically Todd, tourism about the tiredness of the aqueduct interpretive center. So they're looking at giving it a breath of fresh air, update some of the signs, and tidying things up a bit. It sounds like the government hasn't put too much into it in the last 25 years, so they're going to work on that. It needs a little bit of love. Our Experience Development Fund, EDF, we had a couple of real quick ones apply last month. We gave each of the 2 rodeos, one was a high school rodeo, and I'm sorry, I forget what the other one was, but we gave them each $1,500. They were at the Silver Sage, both 2-day events. And then just so you know, our DMF account is just over $321,000. It should be more, but the invoices for the first quarter of 2024 haven't gone out yet, so clearly they haven't been paid. And then the regular account is just over $27,000. And our year end is the end of March, but our financials can't be done yet because those invoices haven't gone out. And then just some round the table discussion. Crawling Valley is supposed to be opening May 1st, so there's some excitement there. Bazano is hosting a youth golf night. It's Monday nights. I think they said at 6 o'clock. Seems to be fairly well attended so far. Dinosaur Park will be having Music in the Badlands on Thursdays. I'm sorry, I don't have the start date, but it's not till May, after May long weekend. It'll be $15 a ticket, but it will not be at the amphitheater. It's going to be up by the interpretive center because there's more room there, and then you can see the Badlands in the background, and so that's their plan, to have music there every Thursday. And I think that's about it. The White Barn Fun Farm is starting their Little Lambs program again, so that's for very young children to come out and see what the farms are like. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions? Seeing none, we also have a circulated report from Newell Housing Foundation from both Amanda and Adina. Are there any questions about that either as well? Seeing none, we'll move on to Grasslands FCSS. Holly.
So I didn't do a written report because we just had our meeting last night, so I wasn't able to get a report for this morning. But we've recently completed our strategic plan, and Victoria will be coming to the county in the next number of months to present that to County Council. We have a seniors lunch coming up on June 3rd, where it's a county-wide free lunch for anybody over the age of 50, although I did vehemently dispute that 50 is a senior. But anyway, I didn't win on that one, but I think it's way too young to be a senior. Our Citizen of the Year celebrations coming up on May 3rd. Tickets are available for anyone who would like to go. We're trying to advertise more of the senior services and Meals on Wheels. We'll be distributing posters to rural communities. We've had our county bus taking out Meals on Wheels to one rural person. We'd like to have more Meals on Wheels going out to rural citizens, as almost all are within the city of Brooks. Our micro grants are becoming quite popular. That's a up to $5,000 grant that can be accessed with quite actually a short application. We've recently approved grants to Cantera Safe House for an equine program for the Little Learners, one we talked about today. Duchess School for a presentation on mental health, as well as grants for Seniors Week and Mental Health Week. So lots has been happening over in FCSS, sorry.
Any questions? Thank you. Let's move on to joint services. Greg or Neil or Kelly, who's reporting?
So we had our regular meeting last week at the fire hall in Brooks. Medicine Hat College explained their delivery system. They receive $31 million a year. Tuition increase is capped at 2%, so their ability to raise funds are fairly limited with that cap. Brooks has presently 300 part-time and full-time students at our campus. Half of our students leave for degrees outside of, oh, Holly, your mic is on. There you go. That's causing the feedback. Half of those students leave the county to finish or to acquire degrees. I thought that was an interesting stat. And the other half quite often leave for diplomas and certificates. The residents out at the college here is full this year, and they're very happy about that. We had a presentation from Prairie Rose Hospice, Colleen Davies. They've been active since 2016. They're advocates for end of life. And it's a really good presentation showing difference between public system and private, or possible private. We don't have private in the city of Brooks, and ultimately I think Councillor Philpott could add to this, but I think ultimately they would like to see someday a private hospice in our city and our region, serving our seniors. They do support grief programs. There is a good grief program coming up in Dinosaur Provincial Park on May 31st, and more details are available on, do you have a website, Amanda? You do. Okay, so that's where you would go for more details on that good grief program. So their ultimate ask was for an 8-bed facility at this presentation. We had great conversation around that. Maybe it's a new build, maybe it's a partnership with an existing facility, maybe it's a closer working relationship with AHS. There was quite a few things bounced around during the conversation. Under finances, I just wrote down a couple items. Brooks Regional Tourism are hiring a tourism marketing videographer, and that's part of our joint services funding to Brooks Regional Tourism. And succession plan, 15,000. We received a $15,000 grant for succession planning. And Neil, Greg, anything to add from joint services?
That grant for succession planning was to host a session regarding, like to highlight succession planning for businesses.
Correct. Yeah, long term.
Right.
And it was a different succession plan that I was thinking about during the presentation.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Matt corrected me on that. Did you want to clarify that to other councillors, or no? Okay.
Okay. Neil?
Yeah, just while it's fresh in everybody's mind, any comments on that iCube session, get them to Mitch so he can do a better job next year. He did a decent enough job for first kick at the cat, but they're looking for input from all of us.
Will there be a formal opportunity to do that?
I suppose there will be, but if you see him, something comes to mind, just let him know.
Just thinking about that specifically, maybe we should have them come to council to have a discussion about that when they start to get a framework potentially in place to come to council to talk about some of that, maybe.
Yep, no, I totally agree.
Fair enough. Yeah, there is a survey. Okay, yeah.
They're looking for topics, looking for people, looking for ideas, so.
Okay. Anything else on that? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to Southern Alberta Energy from Waste, Neil.
My report is the phone calls I made to you guys last night. I think it's great that so many of you are going to that meeting tomorrow, but it's a really important meeting. This thing is some big decisions coming up. This council's at the heart of most of them, so enjoy your day tomorrow. I won't be with you, but you'll do a great job.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions? Seeing none. Pat, Polly.
Just real quick, PEP's AGM is coming up on June 14th, and it's going to be held in Rolling Hills. And with lots of discussion about roadways and needs on roadways, specifically around Highway 41 to Wild Horse and the Wild Horse border crossing, and Highway 36, both the overpass and need for passing lanes, and how that can help our entire region if our roads are better. So that was most of the discussion we had, as well as funding for larger projects, things that housing and infrastructure that actually didn't involve the county. So that's all.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, I think that is our committee reports. And we are very close to lunch. I don't know if it's here yet, but it will be coming if it isn't. And the only other thing that we have on our agenda is an in-camera session, as well as a presentation from Silver Sage at 1 o'clock, which is scheduled after lunch. So what is your preference? I don't think lunch is here yet, is it? I haven't seen any traffic with it. Oh, we could I'll take a quick check. I'm going to suggest we take a recess till after lunch. We'll reconvene at 1 o'clock with our yeah.
I'm good with that. Sure, don't
Yeah. Convene. We are pleased this afternoon to have Silver Sage Ag Society join us for a presentation. Gerald Trembecki, welcome. And I think we'll have introductions so everybody knows everybody. To begin with Lynette.
It's me today.
Yeah.
Hi, Gerald. Lynette Kopp, Division 3 on Patricia Millicent area.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Dan Short from Division 1 Rolling Hills.
Good afternoon, Adina Scandrip, Division 2, the area around the hamlet of Tilly.
Hi, guys. Division 4, Scandia, Rainier, and Bow City, Holly Johnson.
Good afternoon, Matt Fensky, Chief Administrative Officer.
And I'm Arno Dirksen from Division 9, the Gem area.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelly Chrisman. I'm from the west side of the county.
Welcome. Good to have you guys here. Greg Screever, Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and Castles, and Silver Sage.
Welcome. I'm Ellen Unruh, and I represent the countryside around the village of Rosemary.
Good afternoon, everyone. Amanda Philpott, Division 8, Duchess.
Neil Johnson, Division 10, Round Brooks.
Go ahead, Gerald, and then we'll go back here. Catherine. Yeah.
Catherine Siaklik, Communications Officer.
Ariana Nielsen, Executive Assistant.
And Gerald Trembecki, right? If you want to just tell us who's with you today. Just they don't have mics, so you can just indicate maybe who's with you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Gerald Trembecki, and I am representing the Silver Sage Ag Society. I would like to first thank everyone in this room for their generosity of giving me this time to hear what we have to present. I feel so grateful, and we do not want to take your generosity lightly. First of all, my wife, Elisa Trembecki, is with me. Ken Neufeld, who is the president of the Silver Sage, and Daryl Weirstraw, who is the operations manager.
Welcome.
Here is a bit of background with what we do at the Silver Sage. We have a variety of events happening this year in 2024, and we're looking at serving more of our community at these events and making them feel more inclusive. Currently, we serve approximately 13,000 people to these events throughout the year from many other communities as well as our own. Why exactly are we here? We are here because we have determined that it is crucial for us to bring our vision, values, and commitment to our community and show that we are devoted to creating growth within the walls of the Silver Sage. We have spent the last couple months purposely developing our vision and values that will define our society going forward. At the Silver Sage Ag Society, we have collectively decided that we desire to bring some change to our community. To do this, we have developed a strategic plan that we will roll out over time. Together, we have made a commitment to bring the spirit of agriculture and Western heritage values to create strong partnerships and foster connections within our community. We truly believe in the power of unity and working together to serve our community. We have worked diligently to develop a strategic plan this year. In doing this, we have identified 3 things we are committed on focusing on that will bring change we desire. Sustainability. We are creating a downward-facing model that is scalable, effective, and resourceful. Second, optimization. Our efforts will continually amplify energy to improve our site and services that are relevant to the people we serve currently and in the future. Third, community. So important. We'll work alongside our community to continually define and improve our position as a value and meaningful organization. Sustainability. How are we achieving this? So to be sustainable, we know that we need a strong board, staff, and membership. B, governance. And C, fiscal growth. We have created an organizational structure overview and itemized facility renovation budget, and we have assign select board members to their areas of expertise. Doing these together will keep the Silver Sage Egg Society on track, organized and focused on bringing our absolute best to our community. With the involvement of different partnerships, we will bring more knowledge and identify what our community needs are and create a greater degree of sustainability. Sustainability is where partnerships will really come into play. Optimization. We are currently energizing our efforts to improve our site and events. We are currently creating a site master plan to give direction for our future growth. We view the area that we occupy as space that offers many opportunities. We are looking to develop partnerships within our community to ensure we are positioning ourselves well as a society to optimize this space. Our master plan will give consistency going forward, ensuring we will confidently stay on track. Community is a big part of the reason why we are here today. We need each other in order to thrive. We want to see more of it. Our goal is to see our community affected by Western heritage and the spirit of agriculture that we bring throughout our city and county. We carry the values of creating more inclusivity and will bring more to our community. As a Silver Sage Egg Society, we will do our part by creating and fostering these meaningful relationships with different businesses and individuals to create that overall growth in our organization for our community. In conclusion, this is our testament to preserving the spirit of agriculture and Western heritage values by creating strong partnerships throughout our community. We share with you a common mission of having an inclusive and welcoming community for everyone. We will strive to remember that it is through unity and collective effort that we can truly cultivate a thriving community here. Lastly, our sincere gratitude goes out to our devoted staff and volunteers whose tireless efforts and commitment keep the wheels turning at the Silver Sage Egg Society each day and contribute immensely to the vitality of our community. A special acknowledgement to Joel Goodnow, which I believe couldn't attend today, whose ongoing contributions have been an invaluable asset to our organization. We feel fortunate to have him as part of our board. I would also like to thank Greg Screever for his time he devoted to the Silver Sage Egg Society. And I would also like to invite a county councillor to sit at our board meetings and be involved. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to everyone present at today's presentation, with which we could not be more grateful. This is our current board of 9 members. We would now like to take a few minutes to answer any questions, or if anyone has any directives for us, we would love to hear it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerald, for that presentation, and really, I guess, congratulations on good progress at Silver Sage. It's really good to see things on the upswing and doing well there, because it's a good reflection for the whole community as well. So thank you for that. And I hear your invitation for us to send someone to your board of directors too. I think, that's probably something we'll take a look at if that's your wish, and we'd probably respect that, but that of course will be a decision of council, but appreciate that. And I guess I'll open it up now for questions, and thank you for your presentation. Anyone have questions or comments? Greg, please.
Yeah, great presentation. It was an honor to sit on that board during the restructure and just be a part of where your vision has taken you in the last year or two. And thanks for having me on that. I'm pretty amazed that 13,000 people visit the Silver Sage each year. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of people that are coming to our community, and a lot of them are coming from all over Alberta and the United States, I'm sure. So that's a testament to what you guys are doing, or what you all are doing. Where do you plan to go here? What are the plans moving forward with the facility, and what are some of your longer term goals with that area, if you're allowed to say?
Come up to the mic if you don't mind, Ken. Just hit that button and the light goes on. You're under power. So there you go.
So am I allowed to say? I don't know what I'm allowed to say. We have lots of dreams. When I drove up here, I drove down and I looked from here down towards the building, and I looked at the progress that's been made over the last number of years, some of it by the Kinsmen. They started something out here. They've got a start to an RV park, which means they got a sewer dump and a water place you can look on. And then you look at all the land around and you think, could we develop that and make a RV park so that it would serve us and serve the CRA in the summertime when they have a hockey camp or something like that? That's a huge endeavor. That's a dream far, far away maybe. But when you ask for dreams, I'm just sharing your dreams, right? There's lots of things. One of the things that has been noted for us is that the community needs some identity in the community to put together some kind of a big facility that would house a lot of people to do big functions, because we don't have one in the facility in the community. We're talking a facility that would hold 800, 900, 1,000 people. We've seen that at other ag societies in the province. We have no idea if we're capable of doing that. Again, just something that's always thrown out. If Joel was here at the meeting, he'd give you these kind of things. He'd tell you this, because he's been part of the reason that we have these ideas, because he's throwing them out because he's getting them from somewhere else, right? Right now, we're very focused on maintaining a aging structure. It's 27 years old. 26, 27, 80, 97 is when it went up. So there's things that need fixing and they need maintenance, and that isn't cheap. And so our focus is really on that structure right now to make sure that the roof doesn't leak and that the facility itself is maintained. So short-term goals are looking after the facility that's there, looking after the people, the programs that are there. Long-term, the sky's the limit. When we start thinking about where we could go as a ag society. Another short-term goal is to try to bring that membership up. When we had the little trouble here a couple of years ago, we all of a sudden had almost 70 members. Today I think we're down to 20, so you can see what a war brings, right? It brings attention, it brings people. So I don't know how we stir that up again, but we're looking to try to get people interested in joining us as members. So thank you.
Okay, thanks. Neil, you've got a comment or question?
Yeah, I'm congratulating you guys. I love that enthusiasm. I've never seen you so excited about something, Ken. Same with you, Gerald. Like, it's fantastic what the way you've turned it around, and you've got a pretty cool board there. So, yeah, personally and from this seat, I'm one of your biggest fans.
Okay, thanks. Neil, Holly, go ahead.
I'm just curious how you get where your funding kind of comes from. Is it mostly funding through the events you're running, or is it you're able to access a number of grants, or how do you make it all work?
Because I know my answer.
Well, then give it.
So we do access grants. Obviously, we've been very fortunate to have a grant money from the county. We also have a board member on that is sourcing grants, and we're creating funding, but most of the value is coming from the memberships and the use of the facility. Do you have anything to add, Ken?
Okay, thanks. Any other questions or comments? Greg, go ahead.
Sorry, that involves the Ag Society. Is everything good with Alberta Ag as far as the Alberta Ag Society and the troubles of the past? Are they pretty well behind you now?
So I've stayed in communication with Tim Carson from Edmonton, and yeah, he's 100% happy. We were, as a delegation, we went to Edmonton in beginning of February and met with him and had a good visit with him. So we keep him appraised. I talk to him fairly three times a year or whatever, and just bring him up to speed on what we're doing. And he's a good resource for us at that end as well.
Anything else? Anyone else have anything to add? Seeing none. Thanks for coming in today. I guess your only ask is a consideration for a board member. Is that what you're saying this morning? Or this afternoon?
For today.
For today, yeah. That's right. It's a good day. Okay, no, thanks very much for coming in, and again, congratulations on the good progress you've made on behalf of our communities. That's significant. We appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I think all we have left today is an in-camera session. If someone moved that we would go in camera, we would do that. Adina, all in favor that we move in camera? That's carried. Thank you. And so we will get disconnected from the web.